Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee with Craig. This is where we talk about firearms policy, politics, culture, you name it, all relating to the Second Amendment and our fight to keep and bear arms. Please take a moment to like and share this video feed so your friends can join into the conversation. One thing that I wanted to make sure to note, and I wanted to say a real thank you, a special thank you, is if you notice right here at the little bottom right there, you notice that we have the bit of a logo change, and that's because our good friends over at Sacramento Black Rifle have joined the team as sponsors of Coffee with Craig. That's right, Sacramento Black Rifle and Sparks Black Rifle will be sponsoring Coffee with Craig. Rob Adams has always been a supporter of the Second Amendment. He's been a supporter of the Firearms Policy Coalition because he's an individual who believes not just in the entrepreneurial spirit, which has led him to open up not just one but two very successful stores, but he also believes in the fundamental right to keep and bear arms and is interested in investing in making sure that we all continue to have that ability. So I want to say thank you to Rob. Thank you to the folks at both Sacramento and Sparks Black Rifle. And we'll be looking forward to a prosperous partnership. So thank you so much, you guys, for being a part of the fight. So let's get into today's conversation, shall we? So bump stocks, because of everything that's happened in Parkland, bump stocks have really been out of the news as of late. Well, that is until most recently. Hannah Beth Jackson, who is a state senator out of Southern California, has introduced a bill, and the bill will actually be heard tomorrow in the California State Senate Public Safety Committee. But she's introduced a bill that would ban bump stocks. Now, the interesting thing about this bill is, according to Attorney General Xavier Becerra, bump stocks are already banned. That's right. Xavier Becerra, he basically issued a statement, press release statement back in October of 2017. He issued a statement noting that bump stocks had been banned in the state of California since 1990. Now, mind you, bump stocks didn't exist in 1990, but somehow, some way, he has found a way to say that these items have in fact been banned. And he decided to put out a press release. First, what he did was he sent a statement out to 2,300 FFLs throughout the state of California to let them know that they are in fact banned. And then the interesting thing from it is that then he sent out a press release, which we all know Xavier Becerra is, well, he's Mr. Press Release. The man puts out wow, I cannot even begin to believe. If the people who ran his press shop actually ran like his regs department, things would be things would be crazy on time. Or if they were the ones actually out running apps, there would not be an individual who is not supposed to own a firearm with a firearm. Once again, that's if his press machine were running these programs. But when he put out this statement, we did a coffee, kind of funny, interesting how almost prophetic, shall we say, where we talked a little bit about this particular, where we talked about this issue. And rather than have me rehash it now, I thought maybe I would just bring you the ability to hear some wisdom from the past, even if it was just, back in October. Let's take a look at what it is that the Attorney General had to say. So in his release, which he issued, he stated that the California Department of Justice today issued an advisory reminding gun retailers that bump stocks, also known as multi-burst trigger activators, because they accelerate rapid fire capacity of a firearm, are illegal in California. Bump stocks reportedly were used in the Las Vegas shooting on October 1st, the deadliest mass shooting in modern American history. The advisory issued to 2,300 dealers across California references California Penal Code 16930, which defines bump stocks, and Penal Code 32900 and 32990, which make them illegal. First of all, just before we even get into the details of understanding what this is, let me just say this. And I tell you guys this all the time. Details matter. And details matter because, first of all, you're talking about something that's highly technical. I don't stand here, or I don't sit here before you claiming to be an expert, but I do know how to read. And I do know how to understand what definitions are when it comes to technology. What they're attempting to do in this press release is to, first and foremost, create definitions. They're trying to redefine words. Because here's the first thing that I will ask you. If bump stocks were not created or didn't become, weren't even reviewed by the ATF until just a few years ago, how is it in 1990 that bump stocks were made illegal? And oh, by the way, what is the definition of multi-burst? Or what is the definition of semi-automatic versus automatic? What's the difference between automatic and multi-burst? Is there? Who knows? If they believe that they want to recreate it, they want to try and regulate it, well, then guess what? There's a process. That process is called the Administrative Procedures Act. You put forth regulations. That you put them out there. There's public comment, right? There's an opportunity to bring up things like this because clearly no one in the Department of Justice, at least no one involved with putting together this press release, knows what they're talking about. And that could have been brought up during that comment process. But no comment process, no discussion. AG looks stupid. That is where we are. Not only does he look stupid, but now he's issued underground regulations, which it is very clear is illegal. No state agency is allowed to enforce underground regulations that have not been put out for review, that have not been given, people have not been given the opportunity to actually take a look at. Or not to take a look at, but there's been we don't even know if it's consistent with the law. I can tell you pretty much from what I've read, I don't believe it is. But I'm not a lawyer. Most importantly, I'm not his lawyer. And I did not sleep in a Holiday Inn Express, at least not the night before I filmed that. So, but let's get back to the point here. Mr. Becerra has basically, he's gone out and is he violating the law? I know on November 1st, I know that they had put out another press release talking about how they've seized assault weapons from individuals that were fixed with bump stocks. Is he now enforcing a bump stock ban that is part of underground regulations, underground and illegal regulations? As I stated there in Coffee, there's a process. You cannot simply redefine something. Bump stocks did not exist. Bump stocks did not exist when or let me clarify. When the law was written, bump stocks did not exist. They didn't exist in 1990. So then if you have something that is new and you are now going to say, well, we believe it fits this definition, you're supposed to issue some regs or at least some sort of clarification so that there can be a public process. And in that public process, you can bring up all sorts of concerns. Go back and watch that Coffee. I'll include the link. Go back and watch it because there are other issues other than there are other issues relating to the problem with this redefinition. But if you're going to do that, all of those problems, all of those issues can be brought up. But you're not allowed to just on a whim decide that you're going to do this. We just won a lawsuit against Xavier Becerra and his predecessor because that's exactly what they did when it came to the 1 in 30 when it comes to handguns and those who have FFL 3s or curio and relic licenses and COEs. They decided they were going to just change their interpretation and they completely ignored the public process. They lost that lawsuit, and here they are doing it again. Now, what the introduction of SB 1346 tells me, one of two things. It either tells me that the Senate doesn't believe, or at least the senator doesn't believe that Xavier Becerra is following the law. And we said that in the letter that we issued. We said that we thanked Hannah Beth Jackson because she noted something that we had already said. And that was the fact that these things aren't currently regulated. Which means, once again, that even she has to believe that Xavier Becerra is breaking the law. in trying to enforce this underground, non-existent regulation. And it's kind of funny because at the same time, you have Xavier Becerra on a different issue going after the president, saying that, well, he can't just do whatever he wants. Let me just say this. Xavier Becerra, Mr. Becerra, perhaps you need to listen to your own advice.
No person in this country, even the president, is above the law. And if he wants to take an action, he must do it according to the law. Because, Chris, you go about a process. Even President Obama went about a process to establish an executive order. You go about a process. Remember, you have a whole bunch of people in this country. When our government takes action, they start to rely on the representations of our government. The president believes he's above the law, and he continues to act arbitrarily and capriciously in taking actions. If you want to change the law, Chris, don't break it.
Mr. Becerra, if you want to change the law, don't break it. In fact, if you want to change the law, how about you run for the legislature? Because they're the ones who make law. They're the ones responsible for changing law, not you. You want to talk about the president is breaking the law. You want to sue the president for breaking the law. But you're doing the same exact thing. You are a hypocrite. Yes, you are a hypocrite, Mr. Becerra. Now, you are a hypocrite who's very good at putting out press releases with false information, but you, my friend, are a hypocrite nonetheless. And I believe the very introduction by Senate Bill 1346 is proof positive that even Hannah Beth Jackson believes that you, my friend, are a hypocrite and a liar and breaking the law, which would make you a criminal. So, on that note, want to encourage you guys, watch the hearing tomorrow. Send in your information. There's a take action link at the bottom of this video. One, for you to not support and encourage the legislature not to support SB 1346. We still do not support the banning of firearm parts. And I'm telling you this, and I know a lot of you guys out there thinking, I don't own a bump stock. I don't want a bump stock. Ammo's too expensive in the state of California. I don't care. But here's the thing. The reason why you should care is because if we allow them to ban one firearm accessory, they're going to go after the rest of them. And they're already starting with Assembly Bill 2382, which we talked about, I talked to you about on Friday. So look, we cannot let the camel's nose under the tent. It's time to stand up. It's time to fight. It's time to be a part of the fight for our civil rights. And folks, it all happens with you. It all happens when you guys are involved and engaged in the process. We need you here, my friends. We need you. Please make it a point. Let them know that, number one, you're not going to support that bill. But number two, let Xavier Becerra know that he is a hypocrite and a criminal. I don't know if it makes him a criminal, but it definitely makes him a lawbreaker. Definitely makes him a lawbreaker. All right, folks, take care. You guys enjoy the rest of your week. Have fun. Take care. Stay free.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.